see here in the sun. There's our finished, all skinned and cleaned off, right? Notice me here, guys. Right, I'm not pretty. I can't hear you. People come up when I'm carving. I've got music. I've got wires hanging here and these on. People could be hard of hearing who do this for a living. I'm half deaf, well, probably even more so in this year, because I eardrum one time, not from lack of safety. It was because I got an infection in it, bad ear infection, actually from earbuds. That's a big important one. If you're gonna take any tips from today, buy the cheap earbuds, change them out, don't get an ear infection, especially in summer. You get what's called swimmer's ear. I call it swamp ear. It's from the bacteria in those earbuds. You can't get rid of it, so I hate to say it, but toss them. It's better than having your eardrum eaten away by a bad infection and then scarring over and not working right like mine is. If I cover this ear, I can hardly hear anything in this ear anymore, which is kind of sad because I used to have really good hearing. But anyway, what am I talking about? I'm talking about safety. Sorry. Eyewear. Saw pants, right? I think I showed these off before, maybe I didn't. The saw pants, right? They have a pocket. You can put your phone and your money. I put my phone and my money and everything I need there, right? Belts, belt loops if you need to carry a little pack or thing, whatever, you can put it on a belt. These were $100. They're old school steel Pro Marks. Probably still can find them. They're my favorite in the heat because this is a heavy mesh. If it's hot, a hot day, I just put a blower. I stand in front of a blower and it's like instant cool off. I mean, it's like standing in front of a freezer or refrigerator blowing on an air conditioner. It's pretty cool because of that mesh. In the wintertime, they're really warm if you wear like an extra pair of thermals. You know, it's all about layering up and being smart no matter what the weather. You know, keeping cool or warm. Eyewear, definitely very important. I still get stuff in my eyes even when they're covered. Granted, in the wood shop using the electric saws, you'll see me not using eyewear. Why? Most of the time when I'm carving in the shop, it's more relaxing. The electric saws don't fling as much as a gas saw. You're not getting the exhaust. You're not getting the swirling dust storms in front of you like you do with a gas saw from the exhaust, causing that to happen. So that's important. I would say wear your eyewear all the time. I'm just saying that I don't for various reasons, and I've been through the worst of the worst. I've had to have stuff actually dug out of my eye when I did metal work and stone work, and that was from wearing safety glasses, and something went up under the safety glasses, pierced the safety glasses, or knocked the safety glasses off my head. In tree work, I've actually been poked in the eyeball a few times by sticks that went up under my safety glass. So they don't always work, but they definitely can reduce a lot. The main reason I'm wearing these out here, worst thing possible that you can have happen to you in the winter time. And it's really not that bad on a sunny day, because a sunny day, you know it's sunny, you're gonna adjust your eyes, you know, for that, to protect yourself. But yesterday, and I got snow blind because I couldn't find my specs, and I was just cleaning in and out of the shop, and as soon as I went in these doors, I couldn't see a thing for like half an hour, and it actually hurts my eyes when I get that way. And then my vision is completely blurry for the rest of most of the day, and then I get really fatigued. So snow blindness is bad. I'm at that age where these things are catching up to me now. So you know, protect yourself. That's important. I guess that's what I'm saying here. So let's go in the shop and look at some stuff. Okay, and there's our piece of wood. Now, the thing that people will say,
hey, why don't you just carve it? Why don't you just carve it?
From the raw log. Yeah, you can do that. That's fine. If you have the time to do that, to rough them all out and throw them up on a shelf. The important thing here, if you look around the shop, right? We had the video on me building this. Notice the floor, right? The floor is mesh, open mesh. Look, all my shelves in here, everything. Right? I make a point of it. And sawdust will pile up in the corners. It'll pile around that carving. If I'm carving something like this, green, I don't want that real wet, sappy sawdust sticking to everything. So that's why these grids are it's a lifesaver. If you can find these, this is going to be the best thing that you'll ever put in your shop as far as where to put stuff. I love it when I put saws down and there's not a bunch of crap, right? It's not like a workbench. If I need a workbench, I have a what do you call them? A catering cart right there that it rolls out as a workbench. That's fine for 90% of the time when I'm carving. I don't need a workbench. I mean, you don't really need a solid tabletop workbench. The only thing you're going to end up doing with a solid tabletop workbench in a wood shop is constantly cleaning it off. If I'm working with nuts and bolts, I have a separate tray with a lid on it. I open that. I'm not making dust at that time. I'm working on a saw, so I can work on that saw out of that clean box. That's my thing on the shop and sawdust. Why do I skin the logs like this? I like my logs to be clean. Clean wood is good wood. The other thing about the sapwood, right, versus the pith or this is like your phloem and xylem, I guess they call it. There's many different names for the different sections in here. Your heart is your center. That's that non-circulatory. Everything else is circulatory. This is where the highest flow is. That's why when they tap a maple tree, they pull the sap out of the tree. The sap, you don't go that far in with a maple tap, right? You're not going into here with a maple tap. You're putting them in to the sapwood, because that's where the highest flow of sap is. So why do I do all that? Well, look at this piece, right? It's got flat sides, right? You see, fish is flat, right? See, oh, there's a carving that I did with a flat side, right? There's another carving with a flat side, started out. I like my blocks to be ready. I like them to be ready for either thing, right? Now, if I'm carving a bear, right? If I have flat sides and corners, right? I can look at, maybe this is where the arms, the elbows would be, right? So there's his nose. Holy cow. I just saved myself a whole lot of thinking and a whole lot of time here, because I wasn't looking at a perfectly round log. These are just made random, and you can pick out, if you watch my other videos where I make the bear head and I make a triangle, boom, There's his nose, there's his elbows. You see that right away. I mean, it's just easier. It's easier for me. I like to cure wood this way. If you leave the bark on, the bark will cause rot. That's where fungus grows. That's where bacteria grow. That's where bugs that like to eat wood grow. The longer you keep that on, the closer they get into the sapwood and the harder it is to get rid of them. That's why I cut in deeper past just the cambium layer, because the cambium is where those guys camp out and start boring into the wood. I like to get green wood a month to 3 months after it's been cut. If I can get it the day it was cut, then I will do that. But that's always hard to do. I don't like to let it sit on the ground any more than 3 months after it's been cut normally. So there's many things to go over and talk about with wood, but I like to store mine like so, right? And I like to put them up, you know, it's a good spot. The flat sides also, they just stay better. Easier to stack them. I could have a stack this high on the floor. And also, when you get rid of that bark, it allows more airflow in between pieces when you stack them. So you saw the video where we did the repair work, right? The thing about cracking pieces of wood on the dry box, I have a piece of wood in there and a carving of a bear in a canoe, and they both have cracks. These guys are cracking. The thing is, if it's going to crack here, it's done cracking. I can fix it here. It shouldn't crack again once it's out the door, because wood only opens up as it shrinks. It only closes back if you add lots of water, or lots of water and heat. But you need to add tons more water than you are of heat. Heat is the last thing that you want to put to wood. You saw with the video where I made the dry box, this thing here, right? It's just the snorkel. I can turn it any way that I like, direct that heat flow anywhere that I want. It's just a regular safety heater. This thing, you could leave it on for weeks and months. It's self-regulated. It's on a breaker. Being monetized, it helps pay the bills. I've just applied and I just got approved. It only took me 3 or 4 days to get approved, which was great. I didn't wait that long. Some people say that they waited months. I don't know. You had more viewers and more subscribers than I did, but I had got just over 1,000 subscribers. Applied the next day. Got approved yesterday, so it was 4 or 5 days. Anyway, they don't pay you right away. You have to get into the partnership program, and then they will not pay you until you've earned a certain amount. They only pay in those increments. So it's not like I'm doing this to get rich. It's not like I'm doing this to get famous or anything. But all that stuff costs money. This shop costs money. You can't live on magical fairy dust, people. So get out there, and thank you, all the subscribers. Thank you to people who are trying to do their own videos. Thank you to all the support. Thank you to the views. I'll sub you if you sub me. And now we're fish people, right? We're not even YouTubers trying to get famous or even monetized. We're fish people. So it's like water over rocks. Water flows over rocks and leaves little deposits, and those are your gemstones, or if you have, you know, in areas where there's gold nuggets or silver nuggets or whatever, all the little things get deposited in between the bigger things. So take the bigger things, see your video as that deposit, because that's what people want. Nobody goes to a river and gets a rock this big and, hey, look at this cool rock I got. No, we go and we collect the little stuff, you know, because that's how we are. I know, it's a cool analogy. Thank you guys. I gotta go to my not so fun job. So we'll see you next time. I'm not even sure where we are. It's like 2 a.m. We're forced to just walk along the train tracks underneath. We needed shelter. No, it's not that late. It's probably 9 or 10. What time is it? 9 or 10? Yeah. Well, we're here in the Bronx, getting ready to get on the bus. And maybe we'll get to the house someday.